For analysis, let's bring in Paul Eckloff, a 23-year veteran of the Secret Service who provided detail for Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Donald Trump. Paul, great to have you back on. A lot has transpired since the last time we talked, including the big announcement this morning that Director Cheatle was resigned, and as mentioned, an acting director is now in place. So your reaction to all this?
I believe it was necessary. Director Cheatle had an honorable, near 30-year career serving her country, and that is not in question. But the Secret Service's motto of worthy and trust and confidence, she had lost the confidence of Congress, clearly, as we saw, and I believe she had lost the faith of the American people and the faith of the men and women of the Secret Service. It's time, as the congressmen have said, to address the failures that became evident on July 13th and fill those gaps as they may be in the field right now, and help rebuild a Secret Service that can not only serve the American people that they deserve, so they can faith and confidence that their government is serving them and protecting their elected leaders.
Yeah, and as that hearing yesterday, Kimberly Cheatle, as we saw, was grilled by both Republicans and Democrats, but she really had little to say in the way of details. But there was one new detail that did come out during that hearing, and that was that the Secret Service received multiple warnings about Thomas Crooks, the shooter, but was later deemed not a threat. That said, Paul, why would the Secret Service even take a chance and allow the former president to step out on that stage in the first place?
This arises from a misunderstanding of how Secret Service works and how these sites are protected. This person was identified as a person of suspicion. As we know now, obviously, he was a very dangerous potential assassin. When he was reported to the Secret Service and to local police, he was a young man with a Gulf rangefinder. There is talk that he was on the roof with the rifle, and he was reported to the Secret Service in that position for 30 minutes. From my understanding, and I was not there and I've not read official reports, this is unequivocally false. Pictures were taken of him on the ground with the rangefinder, and he was being sought. Answers need to come out. Serious questions need to be asked, and we need to know how he was able to evade law enforcement for that period of time and then appear on the roof and shoot former President Trump. But if I was the supervisor that day and I was to tell President Trump that there's an individual with a rangefinder on the site, I don't believe that would rise to the level of a threat that the former president would not take the stage. Had it been an individual with a rifle, the Secret Service never would have had former President Trump take the stage.
Yeah, and a question here, a lot of people wondering, why do you think that Director Cheatle had such a difficult time answering questions, or maybe seemingly didn't want to?
I would caution people to judge a law enforcement expert who's being grilled by some of the most powerful legislators in the world. They had closed-door briefings days before, and they likely knew the answers to the questions they were asking. I believe it was a trap. They wanted accountability. They deserved answers. And her performance was simply not acceptable. She's not a trained media expert, and she should have been more forthright, more transparent with her answers. But had she started answering some questions that provided specificity that could have revealed national security secrets or compromised an investigation, she would have then been said that she was irresponsible with the nation's secrets and not safe. She could not win that, and perhaps she should not win that. She needs to resign, and she has. I believe the Secret Service needs to look for entirely new leadership. They're facing 21st century threats, and they need a leader who can have the faith of the men and women of the Secret Service, Congress, and the American people to lead them into the 21st century.
Paul, what do you think happens next, and what do you hope comes from all of this?
All I can say is I hope that the Secret Service can once again be known as the world's greatest executive protection agency in the world. They are men and women who are truly worthy of trust and confidence of the American people. And I can tell you that is not diminished. The rank and file men and women who are standing post today around the world are worthy of your faith and confidence, just as their sacrifice is worthy of our democracy, should it be needed. Men and women charged towards gunfire willingly to save someone else's life. One agent placed their head on center mass of the former president, even though it may be the location of the next bullet. I hope the Secret Service can grow. I hope it can learn from this as it has through history. And I hope that the men and women of the Secret Service know, for one, that they are trusted, and two, I hope that the men and women of local law enforcement, it's critically important that federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial police know that the Secret Service cannot exist without them. The dangerous statements made by the former director need to be corrected. There need to be meetings, because the Secret Service's 159 years of success is not built 100% of its own competence, but that of the men and women of law enforcement across this country.
Well, Paul, as always, thank you so much for your analysis, and we thank you for your service.
Thank you.